Okay, you're at the Watchman Way. June 19th, 2020. Uh, Brief announcement. The Phoenix mayor just declared all people in Phoenix must wear a mask, mandatory mask. So Poppy has called an emergency meeting for any Watchman members in the Phoenix area tonight, 9 p.m., the Rusty Spur in Scottsdale, right next door to Phoenix. We're not wearing masks. No social distancing. Any watchman shows up gets a free drink. Now for the overview of the Watchman. I was called by God in 2014 to warn as many people as I could and get them prepared for several things. First ever worldwide economic collapse, worldwide draining of the swamp, 500,000 strong is what's happening worldwide, 170,000 in America, and the exposure and eradication of satanic pedophiles around the world, including the Queen, the Pope, Prince Andrew, 3 former U.S. presidents. It's all coming out. That's what all this is about. The whole pandemic, the Russian collusion, the what else did we have? Impeachment, one clown show after another, all coming because of the final battle between good and evil. We're going through Armageddon right now. That's what's happening behind the scenes. And when the truth comes out, everybody's going to understand. The problem is that nobody really understands. The mainstream media obviously isn't talking about it. These people know, the globalist, Illuminati, cabal, deep state, swamp, whatever you want to call them, they understand that it's either President Trump or them. It's a fight to the finish. And unfortunately for them, it's over. We're watching the mop up now. This thing started, the Patriot, the new Patriot Revolution started July 4th of last year, 2019. And I think it's going to end, for the most part, July 4th this year. We'll know here in a couple of weeks. So anyway, God wanted me to warn about these things. Also showed me physical silver and Litecoin as ways to protect ourselves from the financial destruction that's happening right now around the world. There's no way to save this economy. It's coming down. All paper assets are going to go to zero. There's going to be an economic reset declared one way or another, whether it's an Isara, Jasara reset or President Trump just declares it. One way or another, all debt's got to be wiped out. This thing can't be fixed. And then this year in January, God called me again, this time to lead the revival of his church called The Way. It's the church that Jesus taught 2,000 years ago when he was here. Look it up. It's a fact. This religion was never adopted by the elite because they couldn't control it. There's no priest, there's no pope, there's no hierarchy, there's no centralized donation system that they could siphon off of. We're all the church. We're all equal. We don't sit in a building an hour a week and call it good. The church is in all of us every day in what we do. We do the right thing every time. We tell the truth every time. We live our lives in the service of others. We treat others with respect. There's no violence unless it's in self-defense. This is the purest form of religion in the world, and it's about ready to explode. God also showed me in January that the Catholic Church is going to collapse this year. The Pope is going to resign. It will be revealed that 50% of Catholic priests are pedophiles. The number one moneymaker for the Catholic Church the last 50 years at least has been child sex trafficking and human trafficking. Second is drug running. That's the Catholic Church for you. And listen, I was raised Catholic. I was an altar boy, went to parochial school. I know the Catholic Church. And by the time I was 12 years old, I knew it was corrupt and evil. And it's coming down. God's not happy. God's not happy about the Catholic Church. God's really not happy about any church. Churches have been hijacked by evil. All of them. Created to manipulate man. And it's all going to come out. Everything. Churches, the Bible, our history, JFK's assassination, 9/11, the truth about the globalist and how they've engineered every war, every terrorist attack, every school shooting, every false flag for over 300 years. These people have been responsible for. Create division, divide and conquer. Order out of chaos. They create chaos, and then they're the ones that determine the order that's going to come out of that. And then they get exactly what they want. They scare us into controlling us. It's over. The things they created to control us are now being turned against them. The Bible, the internet, social media, all being turned back on evil. So that's an overview of what we do. The Watchman. So we've got 2 pages, 2 websites. The Watchman and the Watchman Way. The Watchman is right now 100% focused on red pilling and preparing. We'll be shifting here after these arrests are announced to focus 100% on the way and building the church that God wants. I want to make it perfectly clear. I'm just the messenger. Don't want to be a pope. Don't want to be a religious leader. The Watchmen, our main function once we get this thing rolling is to coordinate donations from the Watchmen to other missions, is what we're calling these ministries or parishes. We're calling them missions. What's going to happen after this collapse is there's going to be probably a rough patch. Things are going to be tight probably for a while, a year maybe. Hopefully no longer than that. There's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done and not a lot of money to do it. So the Watchmen will coordinate our funds with groups around the country to start and eventually around the world to, end homelessness, end hunger, end disease. Many of these things are going to be taken care of because, as it turns out, we've got virtually the cure for every ailment known to man, including cancer. We have the cure already. No money in the cure. There's only money in treatment. They'd rather torture us to death than give us a cure. That's all going to be revealed. Technology, 0-point energy solves every problem man has right now. No more water problems, no more food problems with 0-point energy. You can have a manufacturing plant anywhere in the world. You can have a desalination plant every 20 miles on every coast in the world. Endless water, 0 deserts. The world could be a paradise with the technology we're going to have. Anti-gravity technology, that's all going to come out. Within 5 years, we're all going to be driving flying cars. Somebody said it's going to be like the Jetsons, and that's pretty close in 5 years. We'll be there or close to it. So that's what we do. Also, we need volunteers. Volunteers for firearms training. I've got one so far. Especially somebody in the Dayton, Ohio area. If anybody has those skills, please contact me right away. We have a single mom that needs some help getting trained. Also, we need help. Kevin needs help, and Lisa needs help in the offices. Kevin needs help getting people educated on physical silver, Litecoin, helping with ledger setup and account setup for Coinbase and Gemini. So anybody who's pretty knowledgeable there, please get a hold of Kevin or I. A lot of people scrambling now to get Litecoin and silver bought before this thing comes down. Moving on to headlines. Coronavirus tracker. Everybody's talking about the coronavirus tracker. Why? It's a joke. It's fear porn. Listen, I keep saying over and over again. Remember, this is one of the most important things you need to remember. The deep state, the globalist, the Illuminati still controls the media. Until the media gets shut down, which I think is going to happen any day now, they're going to be able to say whatever they want to say. Here's the reality. They can say whatever the hell they want. It's not going to happen. Just because they want it. In most of these cases, they want it, but they know it's never going to happen. But they want to distract us. So they keep throwing out this garbage that they know is never going to get done because, number one, President Trump's got to sign off on it. President Trump's running the show. Gates isn't running the show. Fauci isn't running the show. There's not going to be another shutdown. Not going to happen. The facts are this virus is less deadly than the common flu. Look at the mortality rates. It's exactly what I said it was 3 months ago or longer. The flu. Look it up. It's on video many times in the last 4 months. The virus, they can track me all they want. I don't give a shit. They're not going to lock me up. President Trump's not going to stand for that shit. They would love to take our guns. They would love to lock the country down again. They would love everybody to be wearing masks. They would love to censor us. They love to be able to lock us up like they can in the UK for speaking out against Sharia law or Muslim butchers or child rapists. This is America. President Trump's driving the bus. I don't care what these jackasses want. They're not getting it. The only thing they're getting is a trip to Gitmo. I still believe that the arrests have started, and I believe by the 4th of July they're going to announce it. We're close. If it doesn't happen now, it's going to happen next month or the month after. It's going to happen. I think it's going on right now. So when you hear this crap, what are they going to do? Just think about this for a second. So they found out that you went someplace where there was somebody who had the virus. Then what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Send somebody to your house? It's going to get pretty dicey. Unless they have a legal warrant, they're not taking me anywhere. the Patriots aren't going to stand for this crap. Just watch. The same thing that's happening with Antifa. The Patriots are starting to step up. Antifa's tired already of getting their asses kicked. They were pretty tough when they were beating up old ladies. When there was thousands to one. The Patriots have been stepping up. They're getting shot. They're getting their asses kicked all across the country. That's just going to... The number of incidences are just going to increase. They're going to start sending these guys home in body bags because the Patriots have had enough and they know the laws. And just like the guy, I think it was in New Mexico, 6 guys jumped him. He ended up shooting 2 of them, I think. And then these bitches were crying because they thought he did something wrong. Guess what, guys? Guess what, Antifa? More of that's coming. You want to keep jumping people in the streets? More and more people are going to be carrying, whether they've got a permit or not, because they're not going to get caught like that. I recommend everyone who has a gun carry a gun right now. I don't give a shit whether you have a permit or not. The Second Amendment does not require a permit. I'll fight that in court. But you're not going to be able to fight it if you're in the morgue. You got to be alive. And in a lot of these cases, listen, it's just, I've seen a couple of these beatings. It's blind luck that several of these people survived. After they're knocked out, they're still kicking them, dropping crap on their heads when they're completely passed out and can't defend themselves. You want that? Don't carry your gun. You want to defend yourself? You better have a gun because it's very common now, 5 or 6 people jumping one. I don't care who you are. I'll fight anyone, anywhere, one-on-one. But if there's 5 guys, I'm going to start shooting. You've been warned. And trust me, not many of you will walk away from it. Because if you start with me, you're as good as dead if I start shooting. Because I'm not going to stop until, I don't know, what am I carrying around? About 40 rounds? Good luck. Not very good odds. So don't fall for the fear porn. This is not going to happen. You know, they might get by with some isolated incident somewhere, but as a whole, they're not going to start pulling us out of our homes because we came in contact. Send Dr. Fauci for me. And Gates. Send them both. I'll be waiting. Bolton. Another traitor. Another guy who's probably going to be hung. Looks like he's going to miss out on all of his profits from the book. So whenever you do a book like this, it's got to be reviewed to make sure that you're not printing anything that's classified. The problem with Bolton is before his review was finished, they published the book. Mm-hmm. Now, the cat's out of the bag because they've already, and they knew this, right? This publisher and Bolton should both be held criminally responsible. And like I've been saying, you know, these are basically, you know, minor crimes. I mean, well, the top secret thing could be several years in prison, but compared to treason, you know, it's nothing. So most of these people are going to be charged with treason, including Bolton, I think. Mm-hmm. Liberal media has completely ignored Biden's cognitive decline. It's coming from Joe Rogan, who's I wouldn't call him a conservative. Yeah, and now Biden, his campaign, which I knew this was coming. No debates. You think Biden's going to get on stage with President Trump? It would be suicide, and they know it. If they've got to trot this jackass out there, they're damn sure not going to let him talk very much. And they're damn sure not going to get him in a debate with President Trump. He might as well commit suicide right now. And honestly, I don't think he's going to be there for the election anyway. This whole thing changes between now and August. There's going to be big changes. I don't know who they're. I don't think Biden's going to run because I think he's going to be in jail before the election and probably be executed before the end of the year. Obama, the whole crew from the Obama administration is going. Name somebody in the top 25 of the Obama administration. Pretty much guaranteed they're going to be executed. World Health Organization chief, the pandemic is accelerating, warns of new and dangerous phase. More fear porn, trying to angle for another shutdown. They've got to have a shutdown. They know that if they don't get mail-in ballots, this is over. They know this is going to be the biggest landslide election probably in world history. If nothing else happened, throw out the pedophiles, throw out the swamp being drained, throw out the economic collapse. Doesn't make any difference what happens. President Trump wins in a landslide. They've got to get mail-in ballots because if it's a legitimate election where you got to show up to vote and there's no voter fraud, they have zero chance, and they know it. Robinhood, that's a crypto and stock trading platform, tightens up options platform after trader suicide. This was a kid, young guy. I think he was under 30. I don't know, lost his job or something and started trading on Robinhood. Ended up losing 700 grand trading stocks and then committed suicide. I mean, I don't know why people do this. This is business. President Trump's declared bankruptcy 2 or 3 times. You don't kill yourself. We've really got to be on top of this, guys. I've said this is going to be a problem. And this is just, the economy is just the tip of the iceberg. The big stuff's going to come when the satanic pedophilia gets revealed. When people see the Hillary Clinton snuff video, Hillary Clinton and Uma Abedin sexually assaulting and torturing to death an 8-year-old girl, all on video. You want to see it? Go to the dark web, do a search on Frazzle Drip. It's a Hillary HRC snuff video. On the dark web right now. I think that video is going to be available. I think they're going to make evidence available in these cases to people that want to go to a website and view the evidence. I think including the executions. I think U.S. citizens are going to be allowed to do that. More to come. But I think that's what's going to happen. That's based on some Q posts too. For the rich to keep getting richer, we have to sacrifice everything else. The common man. Basically, they want to steal us blind. They want every last penny we have. They're not happy with 90% of the wealth. They want it all. Listen, the whole financial system is a circus. right now. It's complete and utter chaos. Just trying to hold this thing together as long as they can. Of course, the bad guys, the black hats, want the economy to collapse in September, right? Right before the election. That's what they want. I don't think President Trump's going to let that happen. I think President Trump will declare a reset before that. It doesn't make any difference. They could collapse the economy in September if the economy was still going, and President Trump still wins in a landslide. What are you going to do? You're going to vote for Biden because the economy went south because of the virus? But this is like their last shot. This is the best shot they have. They thought it was going to be millions of deaths with the virus. Didn't turn out to be that. And then they get him with the economy. Oh, he killed all these people because of his ineffective leadership, and the economy collapsed because of it. It's all his fault. What else is new? The problem is that the Democratic Party as a whole is mostly moderate. And thousands of Democrats have been leaving the party over the last few months as they've seen these globalist traitors, Democrats, expose themselves with their socialist agenda. They've always tried to tone it down for the normal people, but they were backed into a corner this time, and it was full steam ahead. That's all they had. They had to go for that angle. Number one, because it allowed them to create all this chaos, right, with Antifa and BLM. But the problem is the normal people aren't buying this crap. And then just wait until they find out about the pedophilia, Hillary Clinton torturing and murdering children. Like, there's thousands of the most powerful people in the world. There's video of them torturing and murdering children. Epstein was running honeypots for the CIA and the Mossad, luring prominent people in. Pedo Island, Epstein owned, his mansion in New York, his mansion in Florida, his ranch in New Mexico. They were all wired. They videoed everything. Everything that was done there is on video. The NSA has it. Military intelligence has it. President Trump has it. Barr has it. Remember, Q kept saying, we have it all. And it's not just that video. They've got every text message, every email, every phone call, not just since 9/11. I think since the 1990s, for probably closer to 30 years than 20, that the NSA has been collecting all this data. The black hats never worried about protecting themselves from it because they were driving the bus, and they were supposed to drive the bus right off the cliff. They didn't expect President Trump to take cuts, to ace them out. And at the most important time, we get a new bus driver. Well, now President Trump has it all. Because when you're driving the bus, you get all the information. They never expected this to happen. Hillary Clinton said herself after the commander-in-chief debate that Matt Lauer was the mediator on. I think she called Donna Brazile a brown cow through something at her and yelled across the room, you better fix this shit because if he gets elected, we're all going to hang. No more prophetic words have ever been spoken because guess what? They're all going to hang because they have it all. They got all the evidence. They got the video. They got all the planning with all the emails and the phone calls and the text messages. Plain as day. Nowhere for these guys to go. This is it. They know it's either they're going to be hung or they got to get rid of President Trump. Major cruise lines voluntarily suspend trips out of U.S. ports until September 15th. I don't really know how voluntary that was because I don't think there's a lot of people booking cruises right now. Yeah, the cruise line, the cruise industry is going to take a horrible hit this next couple of years. Just the pandemic alone, the BS pandemic, and of course their role in it, highly prominent role in it. Well, I think there was a couple of ships that in the beginning didn't handle it very well, the cruise lines. Yeah, not a big deal there. The economy isn't just spending money. We also need savings. The problem is there's no incentive to save when you're in a near 0% interest environment. What are you getting? You're getting nothing to put your money in the bank so that they can lose it, go bankrupt, then you're never getting anything back. You know, nobody's wants to save, and honestly, right now, it's a bad idea. Physical silver and Litecoin. Get it out of the bank because the banks changed the laws. The politicians gave the pins to the banks so they could write the laws 3 years ago. They changed the law so that our deposits are considered loans to the bank. They knew exactly what they were doing. Now when they file bankruptcy, we go to the bottom of the list of creditors, which means we might get pennies on the dollar if we get anything. And of course, FDIC, insurance, same thing. If this thing collapses, there's enough money in the fund based on the amount of deposits right now in America, you get like 3 cents on the dollar from FDIC. That's what they've got available. Good luck. Get your money out of the bank. Physical silver and Litecoin. It'll turn your life around. This will go from a horror show where you lose everything to making up 100-fold in some cases. You'll be 100-fold better off with physical silver and Litecoin than you would have been with your pension and your bank account. This is the greatest financial opportunity in human history. There has never been, this is going to be the greatest transfer of wealth in human history. Never been an opportunity like this before. There will never be an opportunity like this again in history. Take advantage of it. There are tens of thousands, I think now, watchmen and watchman families who are going to become millionaires in the next 4 years. Billionaires for sure, some, maybe some trillionaires, over what happens over the next 4 years because they invested in Litecoin and silver. Don't miss the boat. You'll kick yourself. If you've heard this message and you don't do nothing, trust me, in a year you'll be kicking yourself when you see the prices of where silver and Litecoin go. Some analysts believe Litecoin will be $3 million by 2024. I think that number's conservative. There's 84 million Litecoin in the world. 65 million have already been sold. There's only 19 million left on a planet of 7.5 billion plus. You saw what happened with toilet paper? Same thing's going to happen with silver and Litecoin when the shit hits the fan. and we're close. Any day or week now, we're close. One crisis is manageable. 5 might not be. So what they're talking about there is how these globalist agendas always seem to build. They talked about, we had World War I and the Spanish flu basically on top of each other. We had the Great Depression followed by the Second World War. These aren't accidents that these have happened like this. It's like they try and pile on, right? When they've got something they want to get done, the globalists. All these events were engineered. First World War, Second World War. I think the Spanish flu was engineered. It's all going to come out. I mean, virtually every war of the last 300 years has been engineered by globalists. Just think. So we've got 90% of the evil in the world being removed. At the same time, the way is exploding. And God showed me it's going to be the biggest religion in the world by 2040. 1.2 billion Catholics are going to be looking for a new home this year. The way is going to be ready for them. And then it's going to explode through the world. People are starved for something like this, for the way. Perfect timing. I mean, this whole thing is a perfect storm. How this is all coming together. You don't see God's hand in this. You're not looking very hard. Yeah, and that's the other thing, guys. Got to be ready for anything. All the stops are being pulled. They're backed into a corner. They're going to fight till the end. Be prepared for anything. Tuesdays. Oh, wait a minute. Retail sales bounce, but consumers are tapped out. Tuesday retail sales report was better than expected, but will be hard to maintain as tapped out consumers face high unemployment and a slow recovery. They go on to say the most valuable thing about the consumer is they are financially stupid. And that's a fact. They made most Americans financially stupid for this very scenario. Basically, they're saying that the consumer will find a way to spend more money that they don't have. Whatever. I mean, Litecoin and silver, guys. Protect your family. Protect your financial future. Buy as much Litecoin and silver as you can right away. We'll have websites in the comments section at the end. Anybody that has any questions, get a hold of Kevin Owens. His phone number is 702-325-9258. Questions on Litecoin, silver, programming your ledger, opening accounts. He'll help you. Okay, where am I here? Apple to reshutter some stores, claiming it's, second wave fears. Sounds to me like Apple is in trouble. A lot of these big companies aren't going to, well, a lot of them are going to be seized, number one. Apple, I'm not sure about. I think so, but The problem is going to be, we've talked about, using some of the assets of these corporations that are going to be seized, like Google, Facebook, Twitter, Amazon. I think Microsoft and Apple are probably going to be on there too. The problem is that their values have been so inflated by their phony economy that who knows what they're really going to be worth when it's all said and done. Nowhere near what they're worth today, because it's all based on inflated numbers. All the free money they've been given the last 12 years. I really don't care what happens with the money. I want them all shut down. All these monopolies have to end. All these criminals need to go to jail. The rule of law is returning to America. Everybody is going to get the justice they deserve. Everybody. Nobody's getting away from this. Pandemic-weary New Yorkers spark housing boom in suburban New Jersey. What do you expect? You're like me leaving California. Why would I want to stay in a shithole where everything's closed up? New York, California, Illinois, there are going to be a mass exodus from these liberal strongholds for a couple of reasons. Number one, they've run their governments into the ground, and they're not getting bailouts. Rightfully so. I wouldn't give them a penny, not a frickin' penny. You voted these people in, you deal with it now. And that's what it's going to lead to is there's going to be a mass exodus of people and businesses from those states. Why would you stay? You have to be an idiot. Even if they change things, it would be months or years before the changes kicked in. You're better off going somewhere like Texas, where they are catering to big business because they understand it's good for their citizens. Jobs, tax revenue, new schools. Good luck in Illinois, California, New York, many other states. The mother, listen to this now. So the mother, and it was a stepmom actually, of the Atlanta cop who's been charged with murder, that was without question. My degree's in criminal justice. I've been looking at these kind of things since the 70s. That guy, a year ago, never gets charged based on, I have seen at least 100 cases that were 10 times worse than this. And I don't think this was bad. I think the guy was legit. That were never charged. I mean, there's one video, I think might have been in Arizona, maybe New Mexico, where they murdered a guy, unarmed guy in a hotel, because and this kid is just scared. I mean, it's that's the problem, is we've got some bad apples that need to be removed. But this wasn't a bad apple. this incident in Atlanta, the guy's got a taser. Well, it's not a deadly weapon. It is if you've got a gun and you get tased and you're incapacitated, what happens to your gun? The guy that just tased you is going to pick it up and you're good as dead. When that guy turned back, and you can see it, and pointed that thing at this officer, he's got every right to shoot him in self-defense. He doesn't, his partner's behind him. He doesn't know if he's incapacitated. This guy's eventually going to get off, but the headline is the company that the stepmom worked for, it's like a mortgage company, they fired her. Originally, after this happened, she had discussions with the management. Oh, no, your job's safe. Well, now she's created, what did they call it? An uncomfortable work environment. Didn't say anything other than that. They basically fired her because her stepson was charged, and guess who's doing all the crying? Guess how come she's out? Because of the social justice warriors, the people who are Black Lives Matter. This guy deserved what he got. This cop is going to get off. And I hope the mom sues this mortgage company for everything they have. Not supposed to happen in America, guys. And we're at the end of this crap. Hang on. There's not much left, not much of it left. We're almost to the end. Okay. Jesse, how you doing? Eileen, how's it going? Jeff, what's up? Raylyn, Jerry and his twin brother Gary. Patty, how you doing? Joanne, hello. Yeah, I personally don't want to see that video. I've heard several different descriptions from people who have seen it. You don't want to see it. Yeah, Bolton's book, it might get published, but Bolton's never going to see a penny of the money. That's going to happen for sure. We'll see if they shut it down or not. It doesn't make any difference, guys. Don't worry about the book. It has zero impact on our future. It's only going to be whether he gets paid or not. Not going to impact anything else. Jeff, what's up? Jeff ordered some coins from Ampex Silver. Good job, Jeff. Lena, what's happening? Yeah. There's stuff that will make you sick to your stomach. I had a stroke because of this information. I let it get to me. I was pressing too hard to try and end it when I really didn't have any control to end it. There are hundreds of hours of the most horrific video ever recorded. It's going to rock the world. The world is going to be rocked. And it's not, it's two things really. It's the scope, how many people were involved, and who these people were, the most powerful people in the world. And the things they did. It's hard to believe a human could do this to another human, especially a child. Trust me, they're, yeah, keep going. Just turn it up, Dennis. Um, they're going to get the justice they deserve. Diane made Lake Erie perch today. Good for you, Diane. Got 30 more 1-ounce rounds. Good job. You can find silver at the pawn shops now, but it's hard because they've mostly been picked over. 5 years ago, you could buy a lot of it. Not so much anymore. Eddie, how you doing? Tina, hello. Yeah. Come to Arizona. Weather is lovely. Get out of California. $39 Litecoin, 61-ounce rounds. Keep going, Diane. Bull Pony saying something big next week. Are the 10 days of darkness going to come here in the next week? Or are they just going to announce it, that they've arrested all these people? Yeah. Cindy Lou, Cuomo is the leading salesman for U-Haul. You bet, Cindy. No kidding. Pam, what's up? Uh-oh, Dennis is running the house. Oh, running in the house. The neighbor's getting angry? Yeah, David's got a good point. Talk through all this stuff with your family. Have a plan, guys. If the 10 days of darkness happens, remember, you're not going to be able to communicate. That could happen any time now if it's going to happen. Instantly, everything's shut down. You won't be able to talk to your family. Do it now. You'll be able to see, well, if she's still alive, there's reports that she died last year. Or no, in 2016 she died. We'll see. If she's not dead, she's going to hang. Hey, Becky. Becky, don't want idiots from California. I was one of those idiots, Becky. Look, there's some good people in California. Hey, when I was growing up, California was farming. You know, I grew up in the Napa Valley, you know, all the big wineries today. There's like 500 wineries. When I was growing up in the 50s and 60s, there were maybe 25 or 30 wineries in the Napa Valley. California was mostly rural. You know, we had a couple of big cities, LA, San Francisco, San Diego, but most of it was country, farmland, ranching. You know, that's changed, obviously, in the last 50 years. But there's still a lot of good people there. Roger, what's up? Bill, what's up? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know about sleeping under the stars in the Arizona desert. Yeah, it's good. Depends on where you are. Yeah. This evil, these satanic pedophiles are going to be exposed and eradicated. That's what this is all about, guys. This is man's greatest accomplishment. In world history, this is man's greatest accomplishment. You got to understand how powerful these people were. We should not be winning this, but we are, and it's over. We're in the mop-up phase now. I mean, that's what pisses me off is people are fearful. They should have been fearful 5 years ago. Today, we should be celebrating. Eileen, how you doing? Suzanne, how you doing? Teddy, what's up? Father's Day, yeah, Sunday, huh? Teddy, whoop, where are we going here? Allison wants to know if I think George Floyd is alive. I do. I think this whole thing was staged. Just think about this. I keep saying, what's going to happen when they arrest George Floyd? This whole thing falls apart. Because this obviously was staged by the deep state, by the globalists. It's the same thing with, what was it, the Smollett case, where he supposedly they were going to lynch him, the white guys, the white hate crime in Chicago that was all faked, that some elected officials were involved in. Yeah, solar eclipse is also on the 21st, I think, on Father's Day, isn't it? I think it is. There's a lot of coincidences, guys. Crazy stuff, I'm telling you. Paris, how you doing? Yeah. And the report is, too, that Floyd is a Mason, which right away is a red flag. Cecil sounds like Davy Crockett. Raina, how you doing? Yeah, they got their claws in deep in Nevada. See, that's the problem with some of these, even though like Nevada for years was conservative, and well, California was too when I was a kid. I mean, Ronald Reagan was the governor. Staunch Republican, conservative. But, you know, they infiltrate and they overtake. Dario wants to know what I think about the Fox poll saying Biden over Trump by 12%. I think that Fox is run by globalists. That's what I think. I think they're the same people that said Hillary was going to win by double digits. It's ludicrous. That idiot, God, I don't know, what would he get? 10% of the vote, maybe? I mean, and he'd have to be a moron, especially, well, he's not going to run. He's going to be in jail. The only way that they won't arrest him is just to let him play this out and have the election so he could get crushed, and then they'll arrest him. Everybody else is going to go before then. They might let him stay. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I have a feeling he's going. 1,000 years of peace and prosperity. I mean, just think, listen, God showed me Litecoin, physical silver, carbon 60, greatest transfer of wealth in human history, man's greatest accomplishment of eradicating this evil, 1,000 years of peace and prosperity, man's greatest age. What is there to be fearful of? Jesus. Best, and I wouldn't trade places with anyone in history. If God right now allowed me to pick any time, I would be right here doing what I'm doing. They're going to be talking about this 10-year period, the last 5 years and the next 5 years, for thousands of years. Gee, why would you want to go anywhere else? Why would you want to be anywhere else? We're on the front lines here, guys. My God. People are going to ask you about this for the rest of your lives. I do not believe they're going to shut down the power. If we do go 10 days of darkness, it's not literal darkness. I think the power will stay on. TV's gone, radio's gone, internet's gone, phones are gone. The only communication, the mainstream media is shut down. The only communication, if they do this, is going to be from President Trump through the emergency broadcast system on our phones. Perfect. Oh, get your ledgers. Get your Litecoin out of the exchanges. You know, there's a big to-do about Coinbase losing $200 million or something. It doesn't make any difference. They could lose $1 trillion. As long as your coins are on your ledger, doesn't make any difference what happens with Coinbase. Doesn't make any difference what happens with Gemini. It's just like a bank. Just like you want your money out of the bank, you want your Litecoin out of Coinbase or Gemini. Do it today. Amen and thank you, Kevin. Oh, Allison's supposed to visit granddaughter and grandkids next week. Well, I don't know. It might be a good time to visit the family. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out if it really does go down. Mark's got his ham radio. Yeah, ham radio is really what we all should have. But oh yeah, Dennis is in a lightning storm. Yeah, don't get hit now when we're at the end of this thing. Wineries in North Georgia. There's a few around the country. Nothing like California, though, guys. The one thing is California does have the best wine in the world, really, when you look at it. Cecil was born in Arizona. Joanne saying, hopes everybody is prepped. Martial law is coming. Martial law might be part of the 10 days, rolling it out. But I believe it's only going to be in the big cities, mostly we don't have enough troops, guys, to cover the whole country. So they're going to have to pick the hot spots. If you live in a liberal city, you can probably expect to see the military. That's a good thing. If I lived in a liberal city, I would want the military on the street. David's also talking about code words with your family. So if you're in danger, you're talking to them on the phone, they tell you a code word, you know there's a problem. And different code words for different things too, guys. Well, listen, guys, we control. Allison's talking about the oppression in the air, and I know what she's talking about. But we control that. We control that by how we act. You know, I'm out every day. I'm out now. Going to lunch almost every day. Going to a meeting tonight at the Rusty Spur in Scottsdale. Um, don't don't isolate yourself. We'll create um, we'll recreate what our country is supposed to be, what our founders wanted our country to be. That's where we're headed. True freedom, for the first time probably ever, we're going to have. Hand signal is good if you can see these people, but if you're on the phone, you got to think about that too. Um, Especially with these home invasions, they're talking about people kicking in front doors. You got to have code words for that kind of stuff. Be careful buying silver on eBay. I personally will not buy a thing on eBay. It makes no sense to me to save $1 or two and possibly get scammed. Buy it from a legitimate dealer. This stuff's going to, I believe silver is going to be worth 50,000 an ounce within 10 years. Why do you want to skimp saving $1 and possibly get nothing for it? I've heard too many scam stories, guys. Yeah, fill one of your spare bathtubs with water. Fill your empty milk containers, soda containers, your 2-liter jugs. Wash them out. Fill them with tap water. Don't, listen, I know a lot of people who've got a lot of food and not a lot of water because they think they're going to be able to run it off their tap. I think the water will stay on. As the power stays on, the water will stay on, but we don't know that for sure. So fill up all your empty containers with water. And listen, nobody's anxiety should be going through the roof right now, guys. President God and President Trump are 100% in control. There is nothing to fear here. Who's going to beat God and President Trump? They have zero chance. There is nothing they can do to stop what's coming. There should be no fear. There should be no anxiety out there. It's all good. Phil, what's up? Yeah, they did. They did. I mean, voter fraud has been rampant the last 50 years. I didn't know that, Cecil. Cecil, watchman meeting tonight, Scottsdale, Rusty Spur, 9 o'clock. Be waiting for you. uh, oh, yeah. They could blow a major dam. They've talked about Hoover Dam for a long time. They were going to blow Hoover Dam. I don't know. It's a possibility. It's not going to change anything. If they were to blow, say they blew Hoover Dam, it's going to kill some people. That'd be horrible. But it's not going to save them. It's not going to be some magic pill that lets them get away from this. I just don't see it happening. Yeah, do not stress, guys. Go out to dinner. Go out with friends. Don't sit home and stew on this crap. Get out and have fun. Candace Owens in advanced conversations with the Biden team. Uh, there's zero chance she would, like be his running mate. The only thing I could think of, maybe they would be trying to hire her as some kind of advisor, but there's no way she's going to jump on a ticket with Biden. My God. Yeah. Fauci, Fauci's going to become scarce here pretty quick. No, listen, if they do 10 days of darkness, you will not be able to communicate. Just because you're one of the few people in your city that has a landline, they're not going to work. They're going to shut everything down. If it's 10 days of darkness, everything's getting shut down. This is all part of the plan, guys. Trust the plan. Keep buying, guys. Litecoin and silver. Take advantage of these. These are gifts from God. The silver and Litecoin are the prices they are this late in the game. These are gifts from God. Darren's got his ham radio. Good job, Darren. Yeah, you take your Litecoin from Coinbase and transfer it into your ledger. Anybody needs help with that, get a hold of Kevin or me. I can help you with the transfer. I like Flagstaff. Not the winners, though. That's why I'm going to Sedona. I think that's where I'm going to end up. Good job, Mark. Sold his project truck and bought 2 new radios. Raina has her dad's ham radio. Raina, find somebody tomorrow that can teach you how to use that thing. That's a valuable asset for you right now. Prepare for the worst and pray for the best. That's exactly right, Deborah. Thank you, Paris. I'm going to Greece sometime, Paris. We're going to have to hook up. When this is all over, I want to go to Greece. Yeah, somebody help Raina out here, Mark, so she can learn how to use that thing. You guys could probably do it over the phone. Oh, Cecil, are you kidding me? Have you ever been to California? Listen, I hate the politics, but it is probably the most beautiful state in our country. We got the Sierras, we've got the beautiful coastline, um, desert. I mean, anything you want, you can find in California. Now, if President Trump tries and executes Newsom and he wants to appoint me as a governor of California, I'll move back. That'd be something, wouldn't it? Yeah, the redwoods. My God, beautiful. Oh yeah, y'all go to YouTube. You can learn how to do anything on YouTube, pretty much. Can't wait, guys. Michelle, how you doing? That's a big territory, Cecil. That's some beautiful country. We're glad to have you, Tina. Glad you found us. Well, yeah, President Trump's gonna take over. The media is going to be shut down, guys, and never to return, I think. A good code for they kicked in my door and I need to hide a body. That's a good one. Becky. Wendy, what's up? Mark's right. Do not fear. Fear is your worst enemy. Fear and panic are your worst enemies. Get away from that crap. Scottsdale, Arizona, the Rusty Spur, downtown Scottsdale, world famous. See you there, Cecil. Uh, you got a couple hours, almost 3 hours, Cecil. Start driving. Oh, hey, Tina, thinking of yeah, definitely the plastic coffee containers. Put your silver in that and bury it. That's one of the safest things you can do with your silver. Put it in some kind of plastic container is perfect because it's not going to degrade, not going to rust. Dig a hole, bury it. Make sure a loved one knows where it's at in case, God forbid, something happens to you, your kids or family can find it. Somebody you trust, obviously. What removes blood stains? Asking for a friend. Good one, Todd. All right, Cecil. We might have another meeting tomorrow night. Depends on how this one goes. I'll keep you posted. Allison, how's it going? Stay the course, Dennis. Uh, Roger wants to know if there's watchmen in Northwest Ohio. We have a ton of watchmen in Ohio. I'm not sure exactly where, but we've got a lot of Ohio watchmen. I know around Dayton, uh, Cleveland for sure, um, but quite a few. Yeah, talk to Ray Lynn needs to talk to Mark about ham radios. Mark or maybe David. Uh, okay, we don't need to go there, Cecil. Yeah, that was a long time ago, Jerry. Yeah, I was looking at Prescott, Cecil. But it's hard to beat those red rocks in Sedona. I mean, it's just an amazing place. Um, I like Prescott and the western feel of Prescott, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Sedona. Alaska's beautiful. but I'm not going to go there in the wintertime. Too frickin' cold. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait until we see some of these newscasters hang. Don Lemon, Chris Cuomo, Jake Tapper, all been to Pedo Island. What do you want to bet? There's video on all three of those guys. If there's video on all three of those guys, they're going to hang. Can't wait. Let's see. Eileen saying U-Turn has put out JFK Jr. is alive and will be president of Nasara. You know, there's a lot of rumors about Nasara and how it's going to affect the presidency and our government. I do not believe that we're going to let some kind of entity, take over control of our country, that President Trump would step aside, or there's been a lot of rumors to those effects. God showed me President Trump's going to serve 2 terms. I've said all along, I've known about Nasara for years. I'm 50-50 at best on it because there's been 20 or so deadlines that Nasara was coming out this such and such date, never materialized. Been going on for years. We'll see. But I still don't think we're giving up our sovereignty or our constitution for this program. I believe JFK Jr. is going to be the vice presidential running mate and then be the next president after POTUS, President Trump. The one exception would be if, and I believe eventually we're going to ascend to a point where we don't need governments or police or maybe even a monetary system anymore. When that happened, we may not need a government anymore. I just don't see it happening now. I think things are still too chaotic. Now, let's just say there was a second coming. That would change things. Remember, keep an open mind. Use your critical thinking skills. I don't think those things are going to happen right now, but use your critical thinking skills. Use your discernment. Keep an open mind. At this point, you can't hardly count anything out. There's some crazy stuff coming. Stuff you're not going to believe. Well, I'm not going to drink any tequila tonight, David, and I hope I'm not howling at the moon. Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of stories going on about Nasara and the alliance and how this is all going to play out. We'll see. If for some reason President Trump ended up being our last president in this term, it would be even a greater world than I have been telling you guys about, because it means that the world would have to be changed beyond recognition, which we're headed there. I think we're going to get there someday, but I just not sure that we are there yet. Again, if it happens, it's kind of icing on the cake, but we'll see. Uh, so John's doctor told him it's okay, carbon 60 is okay, but don't use it excessively. Well, you can't use carbon 60 excessively. It's like olive oil. That's basically olive oil, and carbon. It's like on your steak, a charred steak. That's carbon. Uh, you could literally drink 3 bottles a day of carbon 60 with no side effects, no negative side effects. You can't, there's no toxicity, there's no negative side effects with carbon 60. Now, it might get you amped up. I mean, with me, I was taking it 3 times a day when I started. I had to quit taking it at night because I couldn't sleep. It gave me so much extra energy. So, I don't think you can take it excessively. At a couple of points, I was taking like a quarter of a bottle a day um, when I was in training and stuff. Never bothered me. So I think a lot of doctors just try to cover their asses, but you can't take too much of this stuff. Teaspoon a day is fine. I'm probably taking double that. Yeah, when you transfer your Litecoin, do one first and then transfer the rest. Graviola tea. Yeah, Don Lemon is a pedophile. Yeah, I've been on carbon 60 for 5 years. When I started, my knees were horrible. Couldn't run, had pain on uneven ground going downstairs. Zero pain for 5 years. I can run again. And I honestly believe it increases life expectancy for humans. I think probably 25, 30%. I'm 64. I feel like I'm 30. And I'm still doing the workout I did 20 years ago in the gym. Yeah. Yeah, you can. There are other brands of. There's a lot of companies that make carbon 60. You can get it in olive oil, avocado oil, 2 or 3 different kinds of oils. Go on the internet, do a search. Amazon carries probably 15 different carbon 60 manufacturers. Good and Cheap is the one that I've used. It's the least expensive one on Amazon, I think, on the market. But, do your own homework. You're welcome, Eileen. Great time to be alive, for sure. Yeah. Well, listen, guys, in Arizona, you can conceal carry in Arizona. That's one of the other reasons I want to come here. You don't have to have a concealed carry license in Arizona to concealed carry. That's a fact. Well, it took me 6 weeks. Now, it's not going to work for everybody, and it might not work if you're bone to bone. Um, so those are and the other thing you might do, if you're only taking like a teaspoon, I might bump up the dose, double that. Take a teaspoon in the morning and a teaspoon at lunch. Yeah, carbon 60. Yeah, that's all good. Okay. All right, guys, that's all the questions. Oh, wow, we went long tonight. Okay. Um, the 4th of July, I think, is 2 weeks from tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. If we're going to have 10 days of darkness, I think it's got to be in the next week. That it has to end, I believe, before the 4th of July. Um, we'll see how it goes. Be prepared. Let's expect that. If it doesn't happen, we're all good. But let's expect it to happen in the next few days. If it doesn't, no problem. Um, but time is short. This is going down sooner rather than later. Every day matters. Every person matters. Don't forget our mission. We red pill and prepare all the way to the end. Keep pushing, guys. I'm going to end it there for tonight with our prayer. For God and country, amen. We'll see you tomorrow night at 5 Pacific. God bless.